So if we actually look on the ladder now, we can begin to describe some of the other features that we see in the bottom half of the settings screen. And there are a lot of them, so you can see which ones I've got ticked and how the ladder's behaving. This is my normal setup that I have here, but you may want to vary yours, and I suggest you do. It's always good to have something slightly different from everybody else. But let me describe what we're seeing here. So highlight last traded odds. If I untick this, you'll see something change on the ladder. You can see that there's no activity, no flashing lights in the middle of the ladder. So if I bring that back up again, you'll see that it comes back. And this is basically saying if the price is the same, the last traded price, it's yellow. If the price is going up, if the last traded price is above the last activity when it was last measured, it goes green, and if it's going down, it goes red. So to summarize, yellow the same, green up, red down. That will help you get a feel for the market and where the money's traded. Full market depth. On the Betfair screen, you get 3 prices on the back and the lay side. On the ladder, you can see there are many, many more unmatched bets at many different prices. So that is full market depth. That's what they call full market depth. So if I switch that off, you'll see what happens. Screen looks a lot cleaner, but you get no information about what's trading outside the current prices. So we will switch that back on again. Trading profit column. This tells you how much money you're making or losing at a certain price. So if we enter a trade in here, you will actually see the trading profit springs to life. So if I lay here, in fact I can't lay here because I haven't got my account set up to do that at the moment. If we were to lay there, you can basically, the column starts to fill up with numbers, and these numbers represent your current traded profit and loss. Let's edit that bit out. Show traded profit column. If I switch that off, you'll see which column disappears. And then you'll see it come back again. The trading profit column tells you how much money you've made or lost on this particular trade. So it's an important column to have, and I suggest you have that switched on all of the time. Highlight changes in traded volume. Basically, there are 2 things linked here. We basically have the show traded volume percentage bar and the highlight changes in traded volume. So if I switch that off, you'll see that in fact these numbers here represent what has been matched at a certain price. So basically there's 43,000 been matched at 3.7, 41,000 at 3.6, and so on and so forth. And if we switch this on, it represents that graphically and shows you a little bar to indicate where the money's traded. So visually you can immediately see where the money has been traded, and of course you can set the color from over here. The changes in traded volume, you can see here we've got this set to 60. This is a different color, and again we could change this color if we wanted to something else, something a bit more garish. This is basically saying where's the money been matched in the last 60 seconds. So you can see that quite clearly on the ladder. And the traded amount you can see is highlighted there. So all those 3 things there are interlinked between each one of these. And we also have the highlight change of price increment. I'll explain that in a separate video, and then you can change the highlight color, but you can basically see that it's highlighting this bit here. It's basically indicating to you that there's something going on at this particular price point here and here. But we'll explain that in a separate video because that takes a bit more of an explanation. One other feature that you may want to look at is the last traded volume. This shows you, you can see it flashing up either side. When a bet gets matched on either side, it actually shows you the amount that was matched at that particular price. So that's something that you may want to put on as well. And you can decide when that gets cleared down. So you can hold it up there for ages, or you can get it cleared fairly quickly. But those are the key features of how the ladder display is set up. So there's a couple of things up here I didn't discuss. Ladder, cell height, and gap between ladders. If we amend the gap between ladders to 1, can you see how the ladders move over? Or we can basically make them much larger. This is down to your own personal preference. It's entirely up to you how you want to do that, as is the ladder height cell, the ladder cell height. Let's get this right. I can make the ladder bigger, so you can see that's pretty huge there, or I could make it much smaller, depending upon how you want to use it. So it's defaulted to 20. You can do whatever you like with that, basically. It's just however you want to make that look and feel. If you want to amend much more of the look and feel, if we scroll down here, can you see you can actually change the font size, whether it's in bold, the width of the column, and to the gap between that and the next column. So there are actually an immense amount of variations that you can make on the ladder. You can really customize it quite heavily. But it's entirely up to you. When I show videos, I tend to show it in its default mode. But when you actually start trading, you may want to modify the way that the ladder looks. It all comes down to how you want to trade, basically, and how you feel the ladder should look, and key areas that you want to examine within that particular market. So yeah, bear in mind that you can modify the ladder, sell and height, but you can also modify the font size and all of the characteristics around it. It's very flexible. But those are all of the key characteristics with the way in which you can modify what the ladder looks like and how it looks.